If you were a ghost, what kind of ghost would you be? That's today's question. Hi, I'm Sunny, and I have 4 pals you guys can choose from left to right, pal 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I will start with the first one. If you need more time, pause the video and then select the pal when you're ready. So you guys have the magician upright. So pal number 1, you guys would be the kind of ghost that would kind of amuse people. So I think you would pull up a lot of tricks. Like let's say you turn on the lights and you're like, me. Or you like have somebody, like let's say you're the kind of person that would, well, the kind of ghost that would kind of have its apparition in like photographs, or like you would be the kind of ghost that would kind of give like you guys would kind of walk back and forth maybe, and I'm like be like, did I see that? Like if somebody else watched it, they're like would kind of take a second look, like a shadowy type of ghost. Very trickster, very playful. Maybe you're the kind of ghost that's like trying to play with people, like by throwing a ball and then moving, like rocking the chair. So it could be like that, or you could follow people and like be mischievous and turn off lights, for example, or like move items and make people having to do more work to basically find their personal item, and maybe like have them lose track of time because they needed to do stuff just because you wanted to have some fun. It just feels like you'd be more a benign type of ghost, not someone that's malicious, but someone that just wants to play tricks on people, someone that wants to amuse them and like be funny in that kind of way. Might not be funny for the person that's alive, but it would be very funny for you and entertaining to kind of make them get out of their kind of rut or get out of like their routine, to basically just distract them, right? It just feels like that's how you would go about your day. I don't necessarily think you would know it's like day or night, but I think that you would know when they're awake or when they're not awake, basically, I guess. I feel like you'd be someone they shared space with, maybe at home, but it just feels like you would kind of move around. I don't feel that you'd be a kind of ghost that just sticks to one place. So thank you, pal number 1. Pal number 2, you guys have the 4 of Wands reversed. So with you, what kind of ghost you'd be? A chaotic ghost, someone that is mischievous in a different way from pile number 1. I do think that this pile would focus on, maybe you would be the kind of ghost that would be a home, like a home type of ghost, but you would move around with the host family, I guess is the best way of saying it. So if they're moving around from one place thinking they got rid of you, you would go follow them to the next place and you'd be like, hi, gotcha. Yeah. And they would be so upset because they would be stuck with you. So I think that you're someone that would like to purposely be causing trouble for them, but in a different way, not for entertainment, but just because you want to maybe let your presence be known. It depends on your temperament. If they kind of mock you or anything, you would make sure that you would kind of like let them know that you are a force to be reckoned with. So maybe you make stuff fly off the wall, or maybe you kind of shake them and like levitate them or something. Or like move the bed, or like make audio voices like spooky, like ooh kind of stuff. I do feel that you maybe might have apparitions on the windows too. You want to maybe destroy that comfort, that like peaceful, comfortable life for people. I feel like you'd be the kind of ghost that would like come out on those shows of like, my house is haunted. And you'd be like the person who maybe walks through walls, or maybe you leave messages for them, like the vapor in like the vapor in the, what's it called, the mirror, and like mirrors and stuff like that. Maybe you show up in mirrors before them and then they freak out and they look back and you're gone. It could be kind of that, but it's more so when you're trying to let them know not to mess with you, and more so you just kind of go do minor stuff. But I don't necessarily think that you would maliciously do stuff unless they triggered your persona, or like try to put you in your place. So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Next is pile number 3. You guys have the 9 of Wands. 9 of Swords, sorry, upright. So with you, I think you would be the kind of ghost that would torment people in their dreams, or maybe when they're asleep. I think that you would keep them up at night, and I think that's when you have the most like stamina. It's the best way to put it. So maybe the kind of ghost you'd be is the person who drains people maybe like a, I don't want to say necessarily like a succubus or an incubus, but there's other connotations to that with the boundaries of the body. It could be, but I just think that you're someone that would purposely try to sabotage people they haunt, maybe because they are bad people or something, they did you dirty, and you're trying to get back at them from the other side. I just think you would find tormenting your type of fun, your type of deal, and make them feel like they're going crazy. Maybe you might relate to, what's that movie with the house? It's not a house, but it's maybe you might relate to like the Amityville house, right? Or maybe that the Kubrick house. I forgot what it's called. The Shining. It's not a house, it's a hotel, but you get what I'm trying to say. That you might just play with their mind, just make them feel anxious and paranoid, like they're just losing their mind, and you would be chaotic enough to not let them sleep by maybe like calling their name and whispering in their ear and they're sleeping, or pulling on their legs, or like shaking the bed, or like pulling, or like if they get off the bed, you like touch them from their ankles, like they freak them out, like basically like kind of give them jolts, very much get on their nerves, basically is what you're going to be trying to do. So that's the kind of ghost you'd be. A lot more poltergeisty, maybe, could be, but yeah, a lot more chaotic compared to the other ones, a little bit more darker in themes here. So that's what I have for you. Nothing wrong with being that kind of ghost either, right? This is October. It's no place to judge. So pile number 4, you guys have the Emperor upright. So the kind of ghost you would be, pile number 4, is a very strong ghost. I think you could almost even, if you ever had apparitions, to be like the kind of ghost that you could be like full body, like you would just show up in their face and freak them out and then disappear. That's the kind of ghost you'd be. Very intense ghost. I think you want to make sure that they know that you're there and that it needs to be respected. Like you are forced to be reckoned with, and I think you would purposely try to instigate that. Maybe because you're trying to protect people from the other side, but it would be something like you let them know that like you're there. Like if you're a spirit guide, even though it doesn't have to be that way, but if you're someone that's a spirit guide for somebody in your family, you make sure that nobody crosses those boundaries, and you make sure from the other side that nobody tries to attack them in a spiritual way, or nobody tries to attack them, and like you send things their way. You make sure that they're, or like it doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes it can be like if they get into freak accidents or something, you are someone that kind of maybe jumps in there and helps them out from that sticky situation to make sure that it's not like a life-threatening situation, and you kind of just like make sure you take action and you kind of push them out, like wake them up to basically, like if they're falling asleep in the car, like you wake them up, like knock some sense into them. Very, very Aries to me, like in a car, Martian. And like they kind of react and they make sure they swerve, or like they're not going to hit like a tree or something. It can be like that. So you're someone that's very action oriented. You can be intimidating and scary. You make sure your presence is known. But I do think that you could go either way, where you could be very intimidating and scary, but you can also be very protective and maybe militant too. Someone that's just masculine energy. You let them know that you're strong, like you're broad and tall and just older. I just feel like you have scars. Like just someone that can be scary. Maybe like, I always feel like grandfather figure, but like a very strong grandfather, like in your life or something. Maybe that could be you, but from the other side, that's how you would come out, like someone that's very scary. But you might mean well sometimes. It's just that sometimes your appearance can be scary to people. A ghost is not always a pleasant experience for people. So it's interesting. And it could go ways where you could be like a complete dictator and mean and just like very aggressive. You can also be someone that's like throwing stuff or just attacking people, maybe like that. Or you can be someone that's very helpful in a way where if there's freak accidents or things that need to be taken care of, like maybe you get them away, like get people away from like violent areas, or maybe like aggressive people. You make sure that you have your presence known to make sure that it's intimidating and that like forceful way of like back off. or you basically help them make sure that their environment is protected, their personas and their lives are protected, because you're kind of that helpful person protecting them on the other side. So it can go both ways, where it's like you could be aggressively mean and controlling and stuff like that, like making them their lives very submissive to you and stuff like that, and making them a living hell. Or you could be someone that's very helpful when the time is needed, like when it's like the little gut feeling is like, go for it, like it's your time to shine, to like help them out in that sticky situation. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a really cute, fun reading. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. So bye, everybody.